We good?
Time to start.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this September meeting of the Hobbs Board of Education. I'm Terry O'Brien. At 6 o'clock, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'll start with the roll call. Mr. Calderon.
Yeah.
Ms. Jones.
Yeah.
Mr. Romine.
Here.
I'm Terry O'Brien, and I'm here. I've asked Mr. Romine to lead us in prayer and Mr. Calderon to lead us in the pledge. Please rise.
Dear Lord, thank you for letting us be here tonight to conduct the business. Be with us as we go through this meeting. Help us to make the decisions you have us make. Help us to keep the purpose of what we're doing in mind. To remember that we're here for children and guide us the way you'd have us.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. I'd like to seek a motion for the approval of the agenda for this meeting, September 16th, 2025.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the meeting, on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'd like to seek a motion for approval of the action of the minutes of the regular board meeting, August 19th, 2025.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Ms. Randall?
Good evening, Mr. President, Board. I'm here to, I guess, put my name in for the position that was previously held by Peggy Appleton. I have submitted a letter of interest to you guys that you received last week. Do you have any questions for me?
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Randall? Are you sure?
I had about 5 days to think about it, so I guess I'm
Good.
sure.
Yes, ma'am. Well, good. And I wish I had a copy of Ms. Randall's letter here to kind of go over it, but she was definitely highly qualified for the position. The former administrator here in the schools, actively involved in the schools for how many years did you have?
I had 28 years. here
28 years in the
schools.
school system, so actively involved and definitely look forward to I think she'll be a good part of the team. Brings a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and background to the group. So, one thing that a little different from what we do from being an administrator and things like that is the advocacy that we do at the state level. We do, a lot of times people don't know, we come to the meetings and conduct the business of the school, which is our number one priority. But also we do a lot of work with our local legislators, our state legislators and regulators on, trying to get legislation passed. Most of the times it deals with funding because we're always needing more money or wanting more money. So, how is that something that you feel that when we go up to Santa Fe, we normally travel up during the session, interim sessions, like I said, I think we have one here, legislative finance next week, correct? Legislative Finance Committee meetings, things of that nature. We feel comfortable doing that and advocating for the schools and
Absolutely.
going up there telling them, give us our give us our money back so that we send up there every month, so, or every year, so.
Have a
Okay,
little bit trickle back would be nice.
what's that?
Have a little bit more of it trickle back would be nice.
That would awesome. That would be definitely be nice. So for sure. But other than that, I really don't have any other questions. Like I said, I reading Miss Randall's letter and all that. I think she would be a great part of the team. So saying that, I'd seek a motion for approval, appointment of Pam Randall to fill the remaining term with the Board of Education for District 1.
Make the motion that we approve the appointment of Pam Randall to fill the term of the Board of Education for District 1.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, and that requires a roll call vote. Mr. Calderon,
Yes.
Ms. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Romine,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your boards.
Thank you.
You would please raise your right hand. I'll administer the oath. I,
I, Pam Randall,
having been elected to the office of the school board member
having been elected to the office of the school board member
in the county of Lee, state of New Mexico,
in the county of Lee, state of New Mexico,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Mexico,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of New Mexico,
and faithfully and impartially discharge the duty of this office
and faithfully and impartially
discharge
discharge the duties of this office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
You have an official copy to have for sign.
Toughest job interview you've ever had.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Next, I'd like to seek nominations. Ms. Appleton was our board vice president, so I'd like to seek since that position's been vacant, so I'd like to seek a nomination for the board vice president.
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Terry Romine for the position of Board Vice President.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Good. Next on the agenda is recognitions and presentations.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, members of the board, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Dixie Rozier to present our Broadmoor Elementary Model Literacy Support Campus.
Good evening, President, members of the board. Tonight, it's just my honor to welcome Broadmoor staff. You guys want to come on down? They've been named a model literacy campus. I'll tell you a little bit about that as they come down. There's an extensive application that these campuses go through. We know structured literacy is a part of our everyday lives anymore in elementary. That's a requirement. We go through our letters training, and it's just part of how we teach reading and those pieces. But Broadmoor, 2 years ago, applied to be a support school. And what that means is they get support in becoming the model school. So with that comes money. But as we know, with money comes responsibility and change of practice. So really proud of their campus and the work they continue to do to just be the model of what structured literacy is. We haven't arrived, but we're well on our way to improving literacy across our community, beginning with Broadmoor, We have some other schools who are also support schools. You'll see that in the budget tonight, the bars that are associated with each of those campuses. But you guys want to come down?
Sure.
Appreciate that. Congratulate. I'll do introductions.
I'll stand by.
As you guys come down, we'll do some introductions. So we have Principal Jennifer Scheller. And then our support coach, Belinda Everhart, who began the journey with them. Jessica Lance, second grade. Right?
Excuse my seat. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed you.
Miss
Congratulations.
Soria, first grade.
Congratulations.
Rosa Paz is our PAL, our parent attendance liaison.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Carrie Turner is actually our state coach. That also comes with our grant, is we get a state coach to support us. So come on up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So ladies, if y'all want to sprinkle in around the board, we'll stand and take a picture. And while you all are doing that, I will say, on behalf of Hobbs Schools, we appreciate your leadership in this area. We know that structured literacy is what's right for kids. And we appreciate you all taking that jump and doing it correctly and doing it consistently, because it's not always easy. And committing to doing what's best for kids. So thank you on behalf of Hobbs Schools for your leadership and continuing to lead in that way. Perfect. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, well, it's like Facebook, Jeremy. Yeah. Like, I know you're not taking. Every time I just stand there, free will. All right. President O'Brien, members of the board. Hands right. President of the board. Sorry. Superintendent, Mr. Strickland. I'm here to present Coach Joey Carpenter, the National High School School Association for Coaches, honors coach for their contributions to the profession, with the Coach of the Year award being the highest recognition. This award highlights coaches at both state and national levels for their service, leadership, and impact on student athletes. Finalists are selected through nomination from state athletic associations and are reviewed by the NHS ACA Executive Committee. Our very own Coach Joey Carpenter was a finalist for the 2025 NHS ACA Coach of the Year Award. Coach Carpenter was not only recognized for all of his on the court achievements, and I had to cut those out because there was so many of them. But Coach, I promise you I didn't do it. We got you. But he's also recognized for his 26 years of dedicated service to his student athletes, with 10 of those head coaching years being served right here at Hobbs High School. Coach Carpenter was one of the top 8 finalists honored at the NHS ACA annual banquet back in June in Rapid City, South Dakota. For us, this is a tremendous honor. And it's not just a tremendous honor for Coach Carpenter, but to me, for Hobbs Municipal Schools, that we have a coach and an educator in our district like Coach Carpenter. Coach Carpenter.
As Joey's making his way through here, I want to express to Joey how much
Congratulations.
how much we appreciate Joey and the leadership that he has with our kids. As Joey knows, it's not about wins and losses. Wins help. But the lessons that our young people learn underneath your leadership carry them for life. So while this recognition is at the national level, we know that our kids benefit from you each and every day. And your consistent commitment to them makes them better each and every day. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a partner with our young coaches as well. and help tutor them into what it takes to be a successful coach. for young people. Congratulations.
Smile, coach.
Ready?
There you go. Sorry, guys, I'm new to this.
Yeah, and he's only been at it a year or such. So the next recognition that we have is an opportunity to recognize Jeremy Sawyer. Some of you in the room may know him as our athletic director. Jeremy's not only our athletic director. Jeremy is one of our administrators within Hobbs Schools. Don't let the lack of gray in his hairline actually fool you as to his age either. I do need the secrets. I don't know if it can come back. But Jeremy brings a wealth of experience to Hobbs Schools and back to Hobbs Schools. Hobbs High graduate, a decorated state champion with Hobbs High School when he was in high school. Went off and did his thing and brought his family back to Hobbs and is now leading our athletic department. Within just his first year as the athletic director, he was selected by the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association as the Southeast New Mexico Athletic Director of the Year. So we have Jeremy on.
Congratulations.
Joe, you can tell him to smile now if you want. Yeah. Awesome. All right, we got a few more. Thanks, Joe. Jeff. Mr. President, members of the board, our next piece is our attendance matters flag recognition. So Miss Donna Jones, Deputy Superintendent of Student Development, is here to celebrate our youngins. Yep.
Mr. President, members of the board, so this year for our attendance initiative, we did a design a flag contest. And so what that consisted, and it was for our elementary kids. So what that consisted was that every student at the beginning of the year, our slogan this year is attendance today, achievement tomorrow. They received a template. They drew a picture regarding attendance within their class. Their classmates celebrated them, and whoever won from their class went to the grade level. Each grade level, different grade levels, voted on each other. And then finally, we have staff members and community members come in and vote for the designs. Now, we had two categories, pre-K through second and third through fifth. And from that, I'm a little disappointed our flags were supposed to be here. These templates that you see along the wall are going to be flags. So the schools, every week, they do a competition between who has the highest attendance rate. So what they will do, last year we did a traveling trophy. So this year we switched it up a little bit. And so the classrooms that have the highest attendance weekly, they'll be able to hang those flags outside their door. So we'll be able to celebrate pre-K through second who had the highest attendance and third through fifth who had the highest attendance. So it was a fun event. Community members, I know Mr. O'Brien went and voted on some, and just to see all the different designs and to be able to celebrate their creativity and also just their dedication to their school, because you'll notice most of them have their mascots and everything else on them. So I wanted to recognize the kids. We invited them. I wanted to recognize them, and then I thought maybe we would do a gallery walk if you wanted to see them up close and personal. Okay, let me do that. You want the kids to come down?
Yeah, let's have them.
And so what I'll do is I will call the names from each school, and if they're here, if you want to come down, that'd be great. So we'll start off with Broadmoor, first grader Evelyn Bruner and fifth grader Jose Arias.
Oh, no, I'm gonna take mine as well.
For BTW, we have second grader Michaela Alarcon and fifth grader Isabella Alvidrez. For College Lane, we have second grader Matthew Brazino and fifth grader Maya Vasquez. Coronada, we have Kinder Abel Tarango and third grader Adriel Holguin Perez. At Edison, second grader Estefania Mendez Burciago and third grader Ileana Gawana.
Congratulations.
At Jefferson, we have fourth grader Jalen Acosta and second grader Jesus Hernandez. At Mills, second grader Raleigh Olivas and fourth grader Pedro Gonzalez. At Murray, we had second grader Elsa Lazoya and fourth grader Lindsay Orea. At Sanger, we had kinder Aileen Porras and fifth grader Ariel Mendoza. At Southern Heights, first grader Anoa Garcia and fourth grader Matthew Sanchez. At Stone, we had second grader Mia Milan and fourth grader Zaid Maldonado. At Taylor, we had second grader Rollin Sanchez and fourth grader Atticus Olguin. And last but not least, at Will Rogers, we had first grader Alice Romero and fourth grader Alin Minajarez.
Congratulations.
Boys and girls, what we'll do is we'll kind of fill in here. We'll take a picture. Parents, y'all are free to stand up, take a picture. And then what we'll do is you all are free to stay for the rest of the board meeting. However, you're not compelled to. So we will gallery walk and you'll be able to take pictures and walk out from here. One thing I will say, parents, if you want a copy of this video, it is on our YouTube page. But you can pull it off and send it to family. That way they can see you young.
And we're hoping that the flags will be here because on September 26th at the football game at halftime, we're going to recognize them with the actual flags that they created. So we need the flags to get here.
I'd just like to say real quick, first off, thank you so much for everything you do. Attendance is so important. Parents, thank you so much for getting your kids to school. You gotta be there. We stress it all the time. If you're at school, you're going to succeed. That's all it takes is to show up, to be there, and we will succeed. So thank you guys so much for everything.
See all the cameras thrown in. Boys and girls, if y'all want to go back that way, we'll walk past and we'll salute at your flags as well. They're on the wall as a little gallery walk. And again, y'all are free to stay if you'd like. Somebody's got a game to get to tonight, right? All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Thank you,
Thank
parents.
you guys so much. Thank you.
Either walk that way or go find your parents. Want to go see your poster? Or you want to-
New job. I'm missing out on a lot of stuff right now.
line up better than the football. Great job.
What do y'all do with the flags after the school year?
After the school year, we'll send it
I just think
to the creator. And I can do them all. Yes, I
And then I showed
And we'll send it. But at the end of the year, they will get their flag. Yeah, they'll have to share it all year. Thank you. Oh, no, I understand.
Don't forget me.
I won't.
That's okay. I was very grateful we did. Yeah, I bet I appreciate it.
Oh, that's fine. That's right. Good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Calderon, how are you?
I was gonna do it. I'd do my job. I forget my job, but
It's all right. We're here to cover each other. Yeah, we got a team approach.
I don't think we have
No, she's gonna check the video. I don't think we have
Make sure you don't turn this off.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Look,
We did all the hard
Well,
work.
thank you. Yeah, it was.
You sure you want it there instead of up there?
No, I want it right here. You want it up there?
I'm giving you a hard time.
Are you gonna
Those other flags just to be put at the school.
So they are, we're gonna do the flags and then.
I'm giving you a hard time.
So they'll
I
be
can
able to
check it every
hold
time.
that at the end of the
You've
day.
turned it off more than once on me.
Can't confirm or deny that.
I can confirm.
Officially have a chair now.
Okay, so how do I open this up now?
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
So, right now, what are you looking to open?
Well, I was trying to open up like the, so I thought maybe I could just click on that, but I can't.
Yeah, so the only second here, if there's a drop down.
Got you.
If not, it's just a.
Got you. Got you.
Yep. Well, that clears it.
So we are at consideration for the school band check-in.
Click that, click that attachment.
But I like it when they have the kids. and
I do
stuff.
too. I really do.
Let me go see them. There's Savannah Bananas.
Yep.
Everybody ready to go back up? Okay, next item on the agenda, everybody ready? Okay, next item on the agenda is instruction.
President, members of the board. Tonight I'll bring Parrish and Mr. Cheney to visit with you about their proposal for the band trip to Dallas.
Mr. President, members of the board, I'm just here to respectfully request approval for a trip to Dallas for the band. Have a little educational component in witnessing the Dallas Symphony play the music of Danny Elfman, and then we're gonna have a little bit of fun too. So, any questions for me or anything I can clarify?
Got any questions for Mr. Chang? Mr. Parrish going to go and play an instrument? Or? That's not gonna happen.
We're trying to. Yes, that's about it.
That's what I.
Okay. When are y'all going?
We're planning on going over spring break.
Spring break?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
How many kids?
Unsure as of yet, but usually around 125 or so.
Sure you don't want to go with 125 kids.
Oh, they're good kids. They're fun.
Go, I just want to play an instrument.
I've been on many of the trips. I understand.
Yeah. It's always fun and always good for the band. It's a good bonding trip for them. You know, my girls always enjoyed going on the band trips. Always had a lot of fun and all that. So I'm sure it'll be good. And questions for Mr. Chang?
I'd like to make a motion that for the consideration of the Hobb High School band trip.
Have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm good.
No, you can't go. Avery. I was talking to Avery when I said that. She's looking at me. So. Next item on the agenda is leadership development.
Sir, Mr. President, members of the board, I have Mr. Rene Cantu and Ms. Susan Flowers here this evening to share with you our efforts and our commitment to developing our leaders within Hobb schools and what those intentional efforts look like.
Again, Mr. President, members of the board, Mr. Strickland, we're here to talk about leadership development, in particular to our programming. If you look at the first slide, we have 49 individuals participated. Actually, we have 49 participants in these programs. We have 43 unique individuals. Some of them are in multiple as far as programs. This directly aligns to our district priority. We have 3 district priorities. One of them being, again, developing opportunities for as far as, again, evidence-based opportunities for leadership to lead our particular as far as campuses. I'm going to speak on the first 5 as far as programs. The first one's going to be the HMS. As far as aspiring leaders, we have 10 individuals, and that is really a program. It's an 8-month program that Susan and I as far as put on. We had our very first one today. It's again built within the school day. It's a 3-hour intentional program to develop them on a portrait of a leader, which we work with our categories. There's actually 4 categories: systems, opportunities, accountability, and relationships, with 10 competencies. The next particular program is going to be our HMS, Assistant Principals Apprenticeship Program. And we have 3 as far as candidates in that particular as far as program. And that's going to be a year-long program, really 11 months, where they are paired with a highly effective as far as administrator. They'll be doing that the very first semester, really getting on the job as far as training. They'll get another 20% as far as personalized coaching with Susan and I, and then 10% instruction. It really fits that 70-20-10 model that we've talked about for the last year, where again, it's 70% on the job training, 20% as far as coaching, and then that 10% instruction. And then the second semester for that program, they'll rotate with additional as far as leaders. The third one's gonna be our Permian-based Aspiring Principal Program. And if you read that, that's a duplicate slide, but in reality, that's gonna be for some reason, Holsworth is always off a month or 2. They call it a 12-month program, but in reality, it's a 13-month program. We actually have, I'm just telling you, it's just numbers. I'm just a numbers guy. So it's a 13-month program. We actually had 4 of our leaders there this particular weekend. 2 of them right now are actually in Arlington, looking at it. Again, they're doing their rotations, and they get to work with a high functioning as far as principal, just kind of looking at what they do as far as on the daily. Okay. And then our next program is going to be the Holdsworth Campus Leadership as far as program. That was a 2-year program. We actually had our graduates this June. So that was really an intentional program. Again, they 70-20-10 model, where they got 70% as far as on-the-job training. They actually did a problem of practice. They had as far as 20% of the time where they had that personalized coaching, and then that 10% of time as far as instruction. And if we go to the next slide, you're going to just read as far as some of the quotes. You know, some of those are some of my favorites. Really, they're Jennifer Carlson. When coaching others, it is not a gotcha. You're asking probing questions, the power of inquiry to better understand the situation. So the next slide. I think there's a few of my favorites there as well with Tiffany as far as Kelly. It's really talking about really the leadership and the experiences that they've actually gained right there. So again, Holdsworth made me realize that I am a leader. Everyone's a leader. And that's really what we believe at Hobbs Municipal Schools. So again, made me realize that I'm a leader. It not only showed me that I have leadership skills, but it is dependent. Again, dependent my understanding, or deepen, sorry, my understanding of what a true leader looks like. And the next slide right there. Again, the next program that we have is going to be our CES program. It's our ALD program. And we actually have 2 cohorts going on. Cohort 15, Dylan and Mr. Stevens kind of finished up here as far as in July. And we have 3 others in that particular program. Hakeem, Samantha, and Jay Garcia. In reality, they go in a year-long program. And then they actually, again, they'll get their administrative as far as license. In our next slide.
President, members of the board. These are programs that are put on by the New Mexico Public Education Department, the Priority Schools Bureau division of that. And the first one that I'll talk about is LEAD. It is for the first 3 years of a principal. It's to help them kind of get a schedule of events, how to use New Mexico Dash. It's just bringing them in, onboarding them, so to speak, to all things New Mexico and administration. So that's for first three years of being a principal. The next one is leading, and that's brand new this year. There was some people that just couldn't give up the going to these programs, so they created this one this year. And we have 2 people in it. And this one doesn't provide you with a coach. It's more of a community of practice, and they come together as a community and work out problems around leadership, so to speak, to keep them going. Thrive is my favorite. It's the one that I coach in. Thrive is all about observation, feedback, and coaching cycle. It's all about getting into classrooms, seeing what students are doing, and providing feedback to the teachers. Thriving is year 2 of that. It's newly added last year. We do have a group of teachers that, principals who are going into that this year, and it's first year, so I can't speak to a whole lot of it, but it takes Thrive deeper. It just goes to the next level of how to coach teachers to get student growth. RISE, formerly known as Principals Pursuing Excellence. Over COVID, they changed the name of that because PPE took on a whole different meaning after that. So they changed the name to RISE. It's a 2-year program for not beginning principals, but principals who are trying to put it all together. They're taking their 90-day plan. They're taking the coaching piece of it, and they're taking all the leadership and putting it together. So that's RISE. Climb is a program for our instructional coaches with hopefully the intent that they continue on with their coaching through administration. We have 4 of our current coaches here who are in it, 2 secondary and 2 are elementary. Summit is a brand new program this year that they started. Myself and Heather Campbell are in that one, and it is taking coaching to the next level using the International Federation of Coaching competencies. So it's a deeper level of competencies above ours. Is there anything we can clarify for you or speak deeper on? We also have our Holdsworth people in the audience.
Oh, no.
Mills, Jennifer Carlson's here, Kelly Enman's here. If you have any questions about their Holdsworth experience, they're here.
Do you want them to provide some content?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, they're prepared to. Carl
Just
sent
if
him
you
a
had any
send-
if you have questions, yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors.
We'll do it as a team. Okay. You want me to go first? Well, what would you like to know?
I think just speak to them about the uniqueness of the campus leadership program through Holdsworth. Mr. O'Brien does have a list of questions about the
He does.
types of plants that are there on site, so I don't know if you have time to pull those up, but no. In all reality, speak a little bit about the CLP that you all participated in for 2 years.
When it first started, it was just us. We went by ourselves as principals. Then the following time, we added another team member. And then for the second year, we added 2 more. So it was a team effort the whole way along.
Yes. For the community of practice, they asked us to pick a subgroup, and they wanted us to focus on math because they've focused on reading for quite some time, but they were moving over to see what it would be like to focus on math. So for Sanger, we selected our English language learners, and we worked on word problems, and they worked very hard, and I'm very proud of them because they did a lot of this with just the classroom teachers because our bilingual teacher was sick for most of that time, but we were very excited. We didn't meet our goal. However, they worked very hard and had some of the highest growth at the end of the program. So our students worked very hard. So I personally learned a lot about just personal things and educational things and leadership because they talked a lot about having a balance and meeting that leadership center. Sometimes you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others. And so they provided us an executive coach the first year who would help us with just different types of things. It could be either personal or it could be school related, but they would just take time to spend with us and to build us up and to just deepen our understanding of what it means to lead and what it means to coach and, not just be like a person who just gives directives, but really going through that coaching process and deepening our questioning and providing the people that were coaching an opportunity to speak where we just kind of were there as active listeners.
The executive coach came and visited each of our campuses. We had time outside of school to talk to that person after the day they spent with us. We got to visit other sites. We went to California and visited some sites there to see different models, and we went we went to Midland, I believe.
Right.
We went to Carlsbad and visited a school there, and they came and visited us as well to see what we were doing and give us feedback on our practices. Our school focused on reading this year, 3rd grade ELL kids, and the vocabulary acquisition and the reading comprehension skills, and we had really good growth in the classroom that did the strategy for fidelity. I've not seen vocabulary scores that high ever in her with her group of kids. The whole group, not just the ELO kids, the whole group. Because those strategies are good for all of them, not just the ELs. So it was fun. It felt good to get it accomplished.
Yes.
And carry it forward and apply it to what we're doing now.
Oh, yes.
So I think it's helped make things a little easier to see a bigger picture and working on rolling it out with our teachers.
Angela, did you have anything to add?
When I first went, it was an incredible growing experience, I would say that. I went, I wanted to crawl out the door and drive home immediately, but the whole group of people were amazing. The way that they guide you out of your shell, you come out of your comfort zone, and find out by about December that you have more skills than possibly have a math, learning how to place it to coaching. I wish I'd have known that when I was a mentor, because it would have changed my approach on how I would have helped develop fellow teachers. Learning all the strategies where we had to do our research on practice and realizing how this applies from pre-K all the way up to 5th is that we can do with our kids are so very simple. But you just have to take one deep and out and pull it out of yourself.
it was really an incredible experience, and my hope is that it continues and that other teachers can learn what we learned in Austin with it.
And I'd just like to add too, there was another principal that was involved in it also. It was Araceli Almendares from Jefferson, who has since retired, but she was part of that too. She had a team that was there, but the team that's there now weren't gonna make it. We did.
Anybody have any questions?
I just have a comment. As somebody that went through PPE before it was changed names, I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing because I know it takes time, it takes extra energy, but it is beneficial in the long run and that you're able to take that and use it with the rest of your staff and team. So thank you. I appreciate that.
It's much better.
I'd like to say, and I'll just echo that. Thank you guys for doing it. It's good to go to, you know, it's kind of what Jennifer had said. It's good to go to, I go to a lot of trainings and stuff for what I do. And sometimes like, that was fun, but okay, but it's good to go to stuff like that. It makes it worthwhile to be able to, you know, you're out of your building, you're doing these things, but it's good that is something that you can come back and apply and like I said, see results. Like you said, it's great. And if it's actionable and measurable, that's what we want. And if it's working, let's keep doing it. Thank y'all both. Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, I know it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Human Resources, Mr. Berg.
Mr. President, members of the board, you have your informational items for the month with certified employment. We had 6 individuals that came on. Classified, we ended up with 7 individuals. We did have 3 certified resignations, 3 classified resignations, and then 1 certified retirement that Ms. Flowers mentioned a moment ago, and 1 classified retirement. And for any questions?
Any questions, Mr. Berg?
Only about how many teachers are we down?
So as of right now, we have for certified teaching openings 55. As a breakdown, that's 29 over various elementary. And then at our secondary level, we have 4 openings at the middle schools. So that's across all 3 of them, just total. Then we have 15 at Hobbs High School, 1 at C-Tech, and 6 at Hobbs Fresh.
What's that percentage of our total certified positions that we're budgeted?
That will actually be right under 10%. I would say we would employ close to 600 certified staff. So it'll be a little under 10%.
I should know this, but the idea what the state average is? I know it's high.
That's a great question. Mr.
Yeah.
Bryant.
Gotta find that out.
I may bring that up in our next superintendent call.
Yeah.
Ask them what the percentage is.
Yeah, I'd like to, I mean, it's kind of see where we stand, but I compare ourselves to the rest of the state because we're special. We're different, but yeah, like I said, it's an ongoing, it's a problem, not just in our state, other states. As Texas, I mean, it's just horrible trying to get teachers. So it's, kudos to you and your staff and everybody for doing what you do to get teachers on board.
Mr. Brown, I will say that next month, kind of in line with what Leadership Development did this evening, Human Resources is going to bring a similar presentation about our efforts related to our pipeline for teachers, what that Grow Your Own looks like, what those opportunities are for staff, as well as what our recruiting efforts look like.
I'd change that name.
Change which day?
Which one? To Grow Your Own. Ever since they legalized marijuana, we got to change that name. I've always said that ever since they did that.
Come up with a different one.
We got to find another name for that. So, yes, sir. All right. Anything else for Mr. Berg? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Mr. Young. Operations.
Mr. President, members of the board, have one item for your consideration and then one presentation. item for consideration is the SRO joint agreement with the city of Hobbs and Lee County. This has been a process that's been ongoing for a few months now. Really want to give out kudos to Mr. Strickland for getting the ball rolling. But it's been a very collaborative effort between Hobbs Schools, the city of Hobbs with Chief Fons, Annie Gomez, and with Lee County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Helton. It's just been a great effort. And then when we got the addition of Sean Hardison, it even added more to the conversation. So a lot of work went into that. Basically, this MOU formalizes the agreement between those two law enforcement agencies and Hobbs Schools to provide school resource officers throughout the day. It's a generalized agreement. You'll notice on that. But it does outline the duties and responsibilities of those SRO officers, the program structure, and what the expectations are for those officers while they're on campus. It also outlines Hobbs Schools' commitment to help provide funding for that. Over time, I believe in the past, Hobbs Schools has provided $12,000 to the city. We've upped that to $30,000. I'd provide extra coverage for after-school events. And like I said, it's just a work in progress and a great collaborative effort between the three agencies. Recommend approval.
Thank you.
I will point out that the city did approve that last night. And once we take action on it tonight, it will go to.
Mr. President, I'd like to add to that, and Mr. Young did a great job really capturing what our conversation has been. It was a refreshing conversation because I think for a long time, there's been this opinion or this perspective that those two agencies, Hobbs Police Department and the Sheriff's Office, are like oil and water, that they don't work together, that they don't play together. Being in the room with their leadership was absolutely contrary to that perspective. They were cooperative. They were willing to meet the need to provide uniformed officers to our campuses across Hobbs. It is a commitment from Hobbs Schools that we're in agreement with both of those agencies. To my knowledge, and in the knowledge that we've been able to capture, this is the first of its kind that we have multiple agencies agreeing and partnering with a municipality, Hobbs Municipal Schools, to provide certified uniformed officers on our campuses. Many others are a single agreement with a single entity. This one is really a collaborative effort across all three entities, Hobbs Schools, City of Hobbs, and Lee County Sheriff's Office. So we're grateful for their participation in it.
Questions?
Have none.
Comments? Mr. Hardis, anything like that?
It's been good to see both the city and the county on campus funding through all the different schools. Nice to see.
Good. Yep. Any other comments? I seek a motion for approval of the SRO joint agreement, City of Hobbs and Lee County.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Now, I'd like to say just real quick that I thank you, Gene and Doug and Mr. Hardison, and everybody for their hard work getting this put together. It's one thing we do take seriously at the schools is safety and security. You know, we had since our last board meeting, the school shooting at the Catholic school, unfortunately, and that's one thing that we can't lose take our eye off the ball when it comes to that. We got to stay resilient, stay diligent. I know sometimes it's like kind of like in my line of work, I'm a safety man. So I have an accident, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you know, everything safety." And the further you get away from that event, the kind of the less everybody kind of drops their guard or, you know, kind of, you know, lax up a little bit. But when it comes to safety and security at the schools, that's one thing we can't do. And we got to stay at the highest peak all the time and be that. So I think this is getting Mr. Hardison on board was definitely a good step in that direction, getting this MOU signed with these entities, the city and the counties, is definitely another good step in that direction as well. Thank you guys for all your work. Appreciate it.
Mr. President, members of the board, first of all, thank you for your support on that. We have the project updates. You'll notice it's pretty short right now. We did finish up a lot of things over the summer, but one of the things that's pertinent in everyone's mind is the middle schools with Del Norte Middle School and the Heiser replacement. Those projects are currently on schedule. So on our construction schedule, we're currently on schedule. Artwork is still going on. That takes a while, but they've pretty much completed 3 of the 5 areas on those campuses and have laid their footings. We've had plumbing and electrical going into those areas. That's been completed on the footings. The first slabs will be poured next week. So the slab work will start on that. Steel will start arriving in 2 weeks. Hopefully by our next board meeting, you'll see some vertical out there on both sides. So hopefully by, what is that, the 21st of October, our next board meeting, we'll be able to show you some real progress. No one ever sees the dirt work as progress, but when steel starts going up, then people start taking notice. We'll also start including pictures in our updates. I'll do a quick timeline from beginning and the footings, just a quick and then from that point onward, we'll start once a month. We'll also invite Park Hill back up here to give a progress report from our architectural firm, either in October or November, and get a full report to the board from Park Hill, Smith and Cooper. Moving on, this is just kind of reflection of past events. HVAC and electrical upgrade at Taylor and Mills. We did submit the PO for the electrical engineering for those 2 campuses. So that process has started. We'll get the engineering done for those electrical upgrades. And then once we get those drawings completed, we will begin the process of doing the actual electrical work and replacing those HVAC units, those 2 campuses, getting those modernized. Still looking at replacing the fire alarm systems at College Lane and Stone. Facility master plan that begins in November, and we'll begin once they do their assessments of the campuses. We'll start bringing our FAC committee back together and putting that process in place, getting a plan in place for priorities for the next 5 years. Ongoing intercom systems have all been completed, and that is in accordance with the previous facility master plan. So all campuses have been upgraded on their intercom systems and their cabling systems, so their internet system. The next major renovation that we have coming up is Watson Stadium turf replacement. It's already time. I know you were thinking more turf. The warranty wears out. It's over at the end of this year in Watson. So we are looking at proposals to replace the stadium turf. Ongoing projects, central kitchen generator's been installed. It's good. We just have a couple of more tie-ins into the switchgear, and then we're set. Freezer door replacements being completed right now. I thought they would be done by the meeting. They're not, but they will be completed by the end of this week. We've done a lot of safety issues on our landscaping. We've done multiple tree trimmings around campuses for camera coverage. A lot of our trees we're covering up our cameras. So Mr. Hardison's been working on that with Andrew Toglia, our director of IT, identifying those cameras in those places. And then Grounds has gone out and a lot of tree trimming, well overdue. We will be doing our security vestibule upgrades to Mills, Taylor, and Sanger. Those are on order, so those POs have been put into place. That is where they'll the complete security card key access to get into those office spaces. continuing on roofing repairs and work orders being caught up. Now that we don't have any major projects going on, maintenance is able to really start addressing those past work orders, being caught up on those. With that, I'd stand for any questions.
Questions for Mr. Young?
I have none.
I've been on the board a long time. This is my second turf replacement. This is my second turf replacement. So I'm
Oh,
gonna have to-
is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Good news is this will not be as extensive as the last year.
yeah. The last one was a bear. Yeah.
A lot of drainage issues.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Flashway.
Mr. President and members of the board, for your consideration under the business section, we have items B, consideration of investments, and C, consideration of 3 budget adjustment requests. First is our rural and low-income schools. This is an increase. We had $30,001 originally, and it increased by $308,514. So it's for the $338,515, and so that's to increase that grant. And then our federal Perkins non-traditional. This is in addition to our regular Perkins grant for our CTE program, but this is for $23,000, and even though it's initial budget, it expires on September the 30th. So we've got 2 weeks to get all this money, $23,000 spent, which they've already got lined up, and POs are ready to go.
I don't think
tomorrow.
CTE, don't take long to spend 23 grand at
So
CTE still, I don't think. Yeah.
They're ready to roll, so based on your approval
Good.
tonight. And
Good.
then our last is our early literacy and reading support grant. This is for $140,000 initial budget, and you heard tonight with Broadmoor, the structured literacy program that they are been modeling. So we have that school as well as 3 other campuses, Will Rogers, College Lane, and Southern Heights. So those are our 3 bars before you tonight. And due to our software migration, we've been going through the month of August, and we're still working on board reports that we feel comfortable with. And so with that, we'll present our items A, our monthly expenses, and item D, our monthly budget reports for August. We'll present those along with our September reports for you in the month of October. So with that, I stand for any questions that you might have.
Any questions, Mr. Flashway?
Have none.
Seeing none, I seek a motion to approve the investments in the 3 bars.
Make a motion that we approve the investments in the 3 bars.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Strickland.
Mr. President, members of the board, I have for your information this evening an update on our Hobbs Municipal Schools wireless communication device policy. Just as a reminder, the state of New Mexico back in regular session, the first regular session of the 25 legislature, passed a bill called Senate Bill 11. And this bill codifies that school districts will have a policy as it relates to wireless communication devices. It does not dictate a ban. It does not dictate what the consequences are. It does not dictate what's allowable. It simply states districts will have a policy. Anticipating that bill, as our district coalition was going through that and considering the bill last spring, the district coalition asked if, once that bill was approved and signed, if they would have the opportunity to inform that policy. And as your superintendent, I said, when staff members who are going to be enforcing this policy are willing to help draft that, absolutely, I said yes. We did not get the guidance from PED, the regulation side of that, until June the 4th. All of our coalition members are off for summer break. So what that meant is that we moved that policy to this fall. We currently have a policy. that is in our handbooks that addresses our wireless communication devices. But as the coalition met last week, they very quickly realized, yeah, it's time to update that regardless of a statute now or not. So we had a very productive conversation last week. They worked in various groups about what they like about the bill, what they don't like about the bill, what our current practices are that they like and what they don't like. And they drafted some very rudimentary draft policies at that stage. They didn't get the chance because of time to see everyone's, so if they didn't get to present their draft policy to the coalition itself, we will do that virtually as our next step. When we get back together in October, we will formalize that more, and I expect the way we worked last week, that we may have a draft policy for your first reading in October. And so it's again, very productive. They were really engaged and really committed to doing what's best for students, instructionally, as well as developmentally. So I appreciated their efforts. With that, I'd stand for questions on our wireless communication device policy.
Questions?
Next item I have for you is an election update. You can see there the calendar dates as it relates to the Secretary of State and what all things are required by the Secretary of State, by the county clerk's office, as well as by school districts. You can see those items highlighted. Those are the specific items that Hobbs Schools is responsible for. So we are caught up, so to speak. You can see the most recent, or not the most recent, but the upcoming dates specific to us, which would be October 7th is the deadline to register to vote, and November 4th. However, you can in New Mexico register to vote on the day of voting. The caveat to that is your ballot will be a provisional ballot until your voter status is confirmed. So to not have a provisional ballot, we're asking everyone to register prior to October 7th so that their voting status will be confirmed prior to that. Leading up to November 4th is Election Day. And as those sites are populated for early voting, we will populate those and get that word out across our community. The next item I have for you is our actual mill levy presentation. I would seek permission to move down in front so I can present this to you.
Sure.
So, Mr. President, members of the board, the next item we have is for presentation of our mill levy. And as you have in your pockets, you have this slide deck as well. But the first slide is a little bit of history about the mill levy and Hobbs Schools specifically. We subscribe to what's called Senate Bill 9 and House Bill 33. And those essentially are a 2 mil and a 4 mil. And that's some old Latin language that's tied to why those are termed that. But essentially, Hobbs Schools and the voters of Hobbs have maintained these property taxes for well over 20 years. In fact, we believe it's approaching 30 years that we've maintained these property taxes. So by no means is this a new tax. It's a maintaining of an existing tax that we currently have. What is our mill levy used for? It's used for almost everything except direct instruction. It allows us to maintain our facilities, to outfit our facilities with equipment. I heard Mr. Young talk about electrical and HVAC repairs. Those things are funded through our mill levy fund. We would not be able to do those activities and maintain those projects without those funds. The access to the funds has allowed Hobbs Municipal Schools to have the highest rated maintenance department in the state of New Mexico. Through a continued commitment of getting better each and every time, our maintenance department continues to get better and continues to find ways to be more effective with the dollars that we have. The next slide there is literally a big bucket list of what those annual expenditures are. You can see air conditioning maintenance, furniture replacement, playground replacement, which through last night at the city commission meeting, Commissioner Fields contributed some of his discretionary funds to Taylor Elementary, and we'll be replacing a playground structure there, as well as installing playground fall surface. Joint use agreements. We maintain joint use agreements with the city of Hobbs for the core, for our swim and dive team, for Veterans Memorial Complex, for our baseball and softball teams, as well as our 6th and 7th grade youth sports activities. I don't know if you were here on Saturday, but we already have teams out there playing on the newly installed fields. That's a partnership with the city of Hobbs. In addition, providing our middle school activities, which are volleyball as well as basketball. Recent projects. As our buildings continue to age, because as we replace them, we still have a healthy inventory of buildings that turn older every single day. Plumbing's been one of our most expensive expenditures here recently. Some of our buildings are 80 years of age, and that plumbing has been in the ground 80 years. The average age of our facilities is in the 60s as it relates to our existing facilities. Interior door replacements, technology upgrades, intercom replacements. You heard Mr. Young talk about. We've completed all those intercom replacements. They're now in our newest generation. Some of our security enhancements in reference to our secure vestibules, but also the security software that we use to help maintain a safe and secure environment. What are the proposed projects? Our facility master plan is due to be updated. Mr. Young has started that process with a new design firm that will identify our new facility master plan, and out of that becomes our capital improvement projects. The FACT committee helps identify what those priorities are so that Mr. Young can sequence those over the next 5 years to approach those in an appropriate and prudent manner. One of those security enhancements is ballistic film on the windows of our schools. You can see this is some test images from our Zero Eye software. That is a weapons detection software. This young man on the left was playing airsoft with his buddies at one of our campuses, but you can see that software picked up that airsoft and generated an alert for us. Picture on the right is really a proof of concept for us. That's a police officer who was actually trying to see what the detection would be. So you can see he's disguised behind that bush, but he actually has his service revolver, and the software picked that up. That ballistic film is film that's installed on our windows across campus, across the district, that allows us to harden the plenty of glass that we have. We know that we like to have natural light, and we need to have natural light for appropriate development, but we also need to secure that and harden that where we can. The vote on November 4th, again, is for a maintaining the existing property tax. It would maintain those 2 and 4 mills. On average, we generate about $13 million a year to be expensed back into our buildings and our facilities. You can see there how that affects an individual. So if you have a home valued at $100,000, you're taxed on a third of that $100,000. With those 6 mills, it comes out to about 56 cents per day on the value of that home. QR code there allows individuals to scan that QR code and check their voter status. They can see with the Secretary of State what their status is, what district they live in, and be able to confirm that they're registered to vote. Dates to keep in mind: October the 7th, absentee and early voting begins. The request for your absentee ballot, the last day that you can request that is October the 21st, and then election day is on November the 4th. We have created, through some really collaborative work with Jenny and Noe of our IT team, created a landing page for members of our community to get information available. You can scan that QR code, and it will take you directly to a landing page. I'm going to click on it real quick so that you can see what it looks like. So you can see what it looks like from clicking on that. So this loads directly into this landing page, and you can see the flyer that you have in front of you, which is both in English and Spanish. You see both the outside cover and the inside cover. In addition to that, at the very bottom, you will see both questions. And the questions are lengthy. That's how they're crafted in state statute. But within those flyers, you actually have a insert that has those questions, because oftentimes people will say, yeah, I want to go vote, but I don't know what the question's going to be. You have an actual sample of what that question will be. The other items that are up here, in terms of other places where things will be stored, the register to vote, you can click there and get back to that Secretary of State landing page. This slide presentation that I just provided to you is loaded there as well. And then this presentation from this evening, Jenny will do her magic and we'll turn it into a video, and we'll post that video here as well. She'll cut out all my bad dad jokes and improve the quality of that presentation. So with that, I would stand for any questions related to our 2025 2 and 4 mill levy election.
Questions? Joe, got anything?
All right, thank you. Mr. President, the next item I have is a Bill Levy presentation calendar, and I will populate that. Jenny and I have been working on that calendar as it relates to our campus presentations as well as our community presentations. So I will share that copy with you by the end of the day tomorrow. That way you can see it as it's evolving. It will evolve over time. And I share that with you so that you are welcome to attend any of those presentations with us. Typically, it will be Mr. Young and I doing those presentations to the community so that we can get the word out and educate as many members of the public about the Bill Levy election. Any questions on the election?
No, sir, I don't have any. Anybody any questions on the mill levies elections?
Mr. President, members, the next item I have for you is our enrollment update. And the first page that you see there is something that we began doing here recently to try and study our cohorts. And when we say cohorts, we're talking the grade level of students that they are in now and what the quantity it was the year ago at the last day of school. So you can see that updated as of September the 10th. It is blacked out below 3Y and 4Y, our pre-K kids, and then below our kinders, because we don't have a cohort on those kids. They were not with us last year. So first graders, you can see that we have an increase in 6 students there. Second graders, a decrease in 4 students. Third, an increase in 6. Fourth, an increase in 6. A decrease in 6. Fifth, a decrease of 11. Sixth grade, an increase in 5. Seventh, down 3 students. 8th grade, we're up 3 students. 9th, we're up 17 students. 10th, we're up 25 students. 11th, we're down 5. 12th grade, we're up 12 students. So overall, in those cohort of students, you see an increase enrollment of 45 students with a percentage growth of 0.53% in those cohorts. You can also see the 10-year study there on the next slide. It just shows you what those are. And those are same day from same day. So those are different groups of kids as opposed to the cohort enrollment that you see. So a different way of looking at data in terms of what that is. We do believe in the thing called the Netflix effect. From about 5 years ago, we all know what we were all experiencing at that time. And I think we all anticipated there would be a similar baby boom. However, Netflix was pretty popular. And so nationwide, we did not see the birth rates that I think others had anticipated there being with families staying home. So I don't know if that's a trademark term or not. It's something that I've been using in terms of Netflix effect. Any questions on enrollment?
No, sir. Any questions? Roman, questions?
The next item, members, Mr. President, members, is our Lee County Commission update. And this is a verbal update. Mr. Young did share with you in terms of the anticipated action that we believe from the Lee County Commission on our MOU with the Sheriff's Office. In addition to that, on September the 25th, that commission will be meeting in their regular meeting. We did present to the Lee County Commission at their August meeting and requested a capital outlay request from them in the tune of $19.5 million. That request was in response to the state of New Mexico pulling back funding that we believed was to be included in our capital projects for our 2 middle schools. So that's the plan that we have that request in front of the county commission. They will take action on that request at the September meeting. The presentation went well. It was positive. The questions we did receive were supportive, and we look forward to the commission's support on that. I will say, in the event the commission is not able to support that financially, we do have a plan to make sure those projects are fully funded. And that plan was in place before this became an option. We would utilize our mill levy funds to be able to complete those projects as we move forward. Any questions?
No, sir. Any questions?
Mr. President, members, the next item I have is for your consideration of the New Mexico School Board Association Policy Service. You have some information there that dates back, I believe, to 2018 is when we started that, engaged in that. We made that transition from our managed in-house policies to that policy service that the School Board Association provides. With the ever-changing statutes and federal regulations, the policy service allows us to continue to be in compliance with those school board policies and regulations. It has been something that we've come to rely on, and I would believe it's probably become the gold standard as it relates to a policy service across the nation. This agreement is a continuation of that service and would run through August of 26.
Any questions on the policy service? I will add one thing that it kind of came up at a state board meeting when we talk about policy service. One thing that the board, one of our things we do is the board is the policy. It's one of our nest eggs that we take care of for sure. And it was brought up that, well, if you use the policy service and you get the policy service from the Mexico School Board Association policy service, that you're losing local control. And that is not, that's farthest from the truth. Like Mr. Strickland said, these policies come in and we go through them. There's a lawyer that puts these policies together with the Mexico School Board Association on staff. He puts these policies together. And like I say, normally the changes are based on statute. Go through the session, any changes in statute, we have to comply with state statute when we do our policies. However, we do have the chance, we can, if there's something we want to change, red line, anything like that, when we go through these policies, we do have that option to change it. So all we have to do is if we make a change to a policy and we are in agreement as a board and adopt that policy with the changes, we just send a copy back to the service. Hey, this is what you sent us. This is what our policy is going to be. They put that on our file and upload it on our system, and then everybody has access to that. So, so we definitely do not lose our sovereignty or our local control, making sure that the policies we adopt are what best for Hobbs schools and the students at Hobbs schools, for sure. Any questions? If not, I'd seek a motion for approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, members of the board, I have for your consideration next is a resolution sponsored by this local body of the Hobbs Board of Education. And it's a consideration of the legislature to fully fund universal healthy school meals for all students. The information you have there recognizes that Hobbs Schools believes in the benefits of all students receiving breakfast and lunch each and every day. We attempt to do this at no cost to the parents. This is not a cost to be shared by the parents. It is a cost that we look to provide those resources internally or locally. The resolution, if you'd like me to read it, I can.
go to the therefores.
Whereas,
Whereas, go to the therefores. Yeah.
A resolution urging the New Mexico legislature to fully fund universal healthy school meals for all students. Whereas the state of New Mexico recognizes that access to healthy, nutritious meals is essential to the academic success, well-being, and overall development of children. And research consistently demonstrates that students who have reliable access to balanced meals show improved concentration, behavior, attendance, and academic performance, and food insecurity remains a significant challenge for many New Mexico families, with nearly 1 in 5 children experiencing hunger, creating barriers to equitable educational outcomes. And universal healthy meals ensure that no child is stigmatized or singled out based on their family's income, and that all students are treated with dignity and respect. And the provision of universal meals reduces administrative burdens for schools by eliminating the need for income verification, meal applications, and the collection of unpaid meal debt. And investing in universal healthy meals contributes to the long-term health of New Mexico's children by encouraging lifelong healthy eating habits, reducing childhood obesity, and addressing chronic conditions such as diabetes. And whereas the New Mexico legislature has a responsibility to ensure that no child in the state goes hungry during the school day, and that the cost of meals does not create inequities among students. And whereas fully funding universal healthy meals represents a moral, educational, and economic commitment to New Mexico's future, ensuring that every child has the nourishment necessary to learn and thrive. Now therefore be it resolved by the Hobbs Municipal Schools Board of Education that the Legislature of New Mexico declares its strong support for fully funding universal healthy meals for all New Mexico public school students. And be it further resolved that the New Mexico Legislature commits to allocating the necessary resources to sustain a permanent program ensuring that every student, regardless of income, has access to breakfast and lunch at no cost during the school year. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be transmitted to the Governor of New Mexico, the Secretary of Education, the Public Education Department, and other relevant stakeholders as an expression of the legislature's commitment to equity, health, and educational success through universal school meals.
Anybody have any questions on the resolution?
I have none.
So, so yeah, so what the, once we approve the resolutions, we'll send those to the Mexico School Board Association, which they will meet next Thursday, Resolutions Committee, and they'll go through all the resolutions submitted by all the districts around the state. I'll be on that committee. Then once we review those, then we'll, approve which ones we want, to push forward to the Mexico School Board Association Board of Directors, and then on to the School Boards Association as a whole at our annual convention in December. And so basically what we do is that's our legislative agenda. This is what we're going to go to the legislators with these priorities, past legislation or past resolutions that we've approved, also with these new resolutions coming on board, things like that. So I do think this is an important one. We do have to subsidize some of that cost when it comes to universal meals. We provide universal meals. We provide free meals. The state doesn't fully fund that, and we do have to subsidize some of that. So, and then, because I've heard the argument, well, we should just go back to everybody paying for meals. Well, we're just having to subsidize a big part of that as well. So, because we weren't going to let the kids go hungry, whether they could afford it or not. So I think it's a good resolution. I think it will gain a lot of support around the state. And I know it's a topic already with the legislative education subcommittees and things like that. So I think it's going to be a good resolution. And I do think that there will be legislation supporting that going forward. So if there's no other questions, I'll seek a motion for approval.
Make a motion that we approve, universal, breakfast and lunch provided.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, the next item I have for your consideration is a resolution by this local body, the Board of Education of Hobbs Municipal Schools, for the legislature to strengthen juvenile and adult accountability for on-campus violence. I'll read one paragraph from here and then I'll jump into the resolution. We are requesting that the New Mexico Legislature strengthen penalties for juveniles who commit acts of violence on school campuses, establish accountability for parents or guardians, and provide intervention, rehabilitation, and preventative resources to reduce future incidents. These actions will support schools in maintaining safe environments while addressing the root causes of violence. The resolution reads, resolution in support of strengthening penalties and accountability for juvenile violence on school campuses. The Hobbs Municipal Schools Board of Education is committed to providing all students with a safe, supportive, and disruption-free learning environment, and acts of violence on public school campuses endanger the safety of students and staff, disrupt the educational process, and undermine the mission of New Mexico's public schools. And existing provisions in the New Mexico Children's Code and criminal statutes do not adequately address the growing concerns related to juvenile violence on school campuses and the responsibility of guardians whose negligence may contribute to such acts. And recent legislative initiatives, including House Bill 134, Senate Bill 326, and House Bill 255 of the 2025 regular session, have recognized the need to strengthen accountability for serious youthful offenders, enhance community-based rehabilitation, and expand services to reduce youth violence across the state. And the board recognizes that a balanced approach is required, combining stronger penalties for violent offenses with supportive interventions, rehabilitation opportunities, and accountability measures for guardians who knowingly or through negligence or otherwise contribute to campus violence. And the safety and well-being of students and staff in Hobbs and across New Mexico depends on clear statutory guidance, enhanced school safety measures, and appropriate consequences for those who endanger others in the educational environment. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hobbs Municipal Schools Board of Education respectfully requests the New Mexico Legislature to enact legislation that, one, strengthens penalties for juveniles committing acts of violence on public school campuses, including elevated certain offenses to felony status where serious injury, threats of harm, or possession of weapons are involved. Two, establishes accountability for parents or legal guardians through civil liability and, in cases of negligence, criminal penalties when their actions or inactions facilitate violence on school property. Three, mandates intervention and rehabilitation services, including counseling, behavioral support, and community-based supervision for youth offenders to address root causes and prevent recurrence. Four, supports funding for prevention programs, including wraparound services, school security training, and trauma-informed practices for educators and staff. Five, affirms the authority of school districts to work in close coordination with law enforcement, juvenile justice agencies, and the Children, Youth, and Families Department in order to ensure swift and appropriate response to incidents of violence. Be it further resolved that the Hobbs Municipal Schools Board of Education formally submits this resolution to the New Mexico Legislature and the Governor of New Mexico for consideration in the upcoming special session.
Any questions, comments on that resolution?
Motion that we approve the support of strengthening penalties and accountability for juvenile violence on school campuses.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, members of the board, the last item I have for your consideration this evening, I have a feeling the cabinet will give me a hard time. There's some stopwatches already running out there as to how long my session has been this evening. That's okay. Good to be there.
Okay, you're killing my average, but you're all right.
Killing your
Go
average,
ahead.
that's right, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Togley and I, we will be attending there is a work session called AI Super Summit, Artificial Intelligence Super Summit, that is held on November 18th. And that conflict would facilitate a reschedule of our November board meeting from November 18th to November 20th. So I would seek your approval or consideration of that request.
Are you good with that?
No problem.
Okay, seek a motion for approval.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
President, members of the board, announcements. Today is IT Professionals Day. September 16th, 2025. So David, you're the lone survivor here. Congratulations. You get everyone's applause. So we are extremely grateful of the work that our IT department does. It's not called IT to us, it's called computer aided instruction. And I've always appreciated that lens on how our IT department sees themselves, as they are here to assist in instruction. Monday, we will have our Regional 6 board meeting in Carlsbad, September the 22nd. And we can meet right after the meeting to set up travel arrangements and whatnot, and time to leave from here. On Wednesday of next week, Tuesday, starting Tuesday, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. As Mr. O'Brien stated earlier, the Legislative Finance Committee will be meeting here in Hobbs. They will be meeting at the core. The 24th specifically, they will have a welcome by the county superintendents of Lee County. And then immediately following that, I've been asked to sit on a panel for successful practices in career technical education with Mr. Sonny Liu. October the 2nd is Custodian Appreciation Day, and then we will have our regular board meeting on October the 21st, 2025. I stand for questions.
Questions on announcements?
I got one final one, if you got a second. I would like to take the opportunity to recognize Mr. Calderon. For many of you that don't know, Joe has served this community for many, many years. And just a couple weeks ago, he was recognized by the Hispano Chamber of Commerce as the very first recipient of the Corazon Award. For my Spanish, that means the heart. And Joe exemplifies that award and is an honorary recipient of that award. And Joe, I appreciate your leadership and your service to the community of Hobbs for the better part of almost 5 decades. And whether it's in the classroom or whether it's in civil service. Thank you for that. And the award is long overdue, but I am thrilled that you were the first recipient of that award.
I have a motion to adjourn. Second.